Welcome to the Liberace Mansion.
Welcome to Under the Vegas Sun, looking at the people, the events, and the news surrounding Las Vegas and the entire Vegas Valley. Hello, I'm Steve Schorr. We are live from the Liberace Mansion. You know, every time I sit in front of this incredible instrument, Liberace's famous million rhinestone piano, I am always honored by the artistry who he was. It is amazing when you hear true artistry, but how does it begin? Where does it begin? How does somebody learn all about what being a player of an instrument is all about? Sometimes it's called Suzuki. On our program today, you'll meet two people who are very much believing that Suzuki can indeed make a difference, especially with young people. You'll meet them in just a moment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Eamon Springall of Stitched at the Cosmopolitan, and you're watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Schorr.
Probably one of the toughest things each of us have ever done is learn our native language. Think about it, how young as a child you were, and all of a sudden you got to learn how to speak in the language that we were born with. Tough thing to do. What if you could do the same thing with music? You can. Our very special guest once again on the program, the president and CEO of Nevada School of the Arts, Mr. Patrick Duffy, and the incredible individual who is the executive and artistic director of Nevada School of the Arts, Shakeh. Welcome to our program. Okay, this idea that I spoke about how we learned language, our native language, was really, I believe, now tell me if I'm wrong, the basis behind what Suzuki methodology is in music, correct?
Yes.
Now, how did the Suzuki methodology, it goes back many, many years, 1800s, if I'm not mistaken.
Not quite.
Okay.
Beginning of the rather 20th century.
20th century.
1930s.
Okay.
Really.
At the time, it was an amazing thought to be able to have young people learn music in the same way that they learn their native language.
Right. Dr. Suzuki actually discovered that idea by I don't want to say by accident, but really by just working with very, very young children. There was no specific method set for that, but he discovered that children love repetition and they can learn things at a very early age, just the way they learn a language. So mother tongue approach was kind of discovered by him and started working with 3-year-old, 4-year-old children, and repetition, showing, listening, and actually having the parents be part of that wonderful triangle of the child and the teacher and the parent. And that's the success.
And the parents are a critical role. The parents are a critical role in everything that Nevada School of the Arts does.
Right.
Right?
Right.
They are.
Our parents are to be applauded. They're to be applauded because they encourage and they show such incredible enjoyment, which really the students get to see. They get to see the pride in their parents' eyes and the enjoyment, and they know that they're achieving something and learning something extremely important.
Now, I have to tell you, I have to tell the audience that I'm somewhat prejudiced. I am somewhat prejudiced, as I think some of the audience knows that I have a public school that's named after me. Mm-hmm. And I believed when we opened the doors that the arts were a critical part of what I had hoped for my children, and they're my children.
Yep.
1,100 children, that's how many I have, and it's okay, I understand that. But I thought the arts were critically important, so I was able to provide to the school and to my children Suzuki, violin. And what I learned in a short period of time is that we're a Title I school. Title I school. We watched our children succeed to where other Title I schools did not succeed. That is the important part that I believe the arts do.
Well, I'm glad you had to see that progress firsthand. We had that violin program in your school for 7 years, 8 years, or many years, and it was a wonderful program, and I think a lot of children benefited from that. And I think it's the discipline. It is really the discipline of doing something every day and growing on that success and having parents support that everyday growth. Music is very much like putting a garden together. You keep watering every day and you hope that you will have those beautiful flowers grow. It has to be that mindset.
How do you respond to people that say Suzuki is nothing more than mimicking? But it's not mimicking. It's as much learning process. They learn the reality of an instrument prior to actually learning how to read music.
Right.
Is that right?
The way we learn our languages.
Right.
We speak first before we read and write. I think people who don't have quite the full information about the philosophy or Suzuki method are misguided, I would say. I think it's a matter of just reading up what the method is. It is a philosophy. It's not a way of teaching an instrument. It's really a philosophy. At the end of the day, child plays the violin.
Or piano.
Well, or piano, or cello, or
cello,
flute,
or whatever it is.
Or whatever it is. It's how they got there when they were very, very young.
Right.
Not to say that they can play badly and say that they started here or there. It's really the process, and it's the philosophy of starting a young child.
I have young people that started as first graders and kindergartners at my school who are now part of high school orchestras, who are part of youth symphony orchestras, who have continued and are now, every time I hear them, the hairs stand up on the back of my neck because it's such a wonderful thing to see.
It's wonderful. You know, the interesting part, too, when we talk about parents and children back at that early stage in their life, when we were kids, when we wanted to do something or we wanted something, we did everything we could to get there. But when we had to, we resisted as much as we could. The interesting part about the Suzuki method and the parents is the parents encourage the children, the students, to want to. And when you encourage a want to philosophy, you know, the have to, no problem. They want to do it, which is fabulous.
And when you watch children enjoy what they're doing, when all of a sudden they can hear something and recognize it, that they're actually performing it, that they're actually doing it, I think there's a certain amount of excitement that builds within them for what they are doing.
Right. It's why not? I mean, why not? I mean, I'm happy when I can tap my foot on cue, and I mean, really, and I get to watch and listen to these children, you know, under Miss Mary or under Miss Robin or under, you know, Mr. Christian. And it amazes me what they're able to do. And it's amazing to watch these students and these children grow into that instrument and grow into that music.
What does it do for the community? What does it do for these children in their schools? What does it do for the schools? What does it do for the families? What does it do for the community?
I will share Dr. Suzuki's thought and philosophy that his intent was not to raise professional musicians, but to raise beautiful human beings with a kind heart. And I think that goes a long way. It goes beyond playing your instrument. It goes beyond becoming a musician, but it filters into the kind of human being that you want to be. You've been impacted by the beauty of music. And then how do you want to take that to your school, to your family as an adult, and to your community?
There's a certain appreciation of art that I think is gained when somebody is involved in the art. Now, I did not ever hear my first classical orchestra until I was in college. Never heard it until I was in college. And all of a sudden I had this appreciation of it. It's the same thing. I never saw great works of art until I was in college. I never knew what a Rubens or a Matisse or a Rembrandt was until I was in college. To see young people today gain that appreciation is a wonderful thing for not only them, but I think for the families as well.
Absolutely. I think if you take a look at the faces as they were performing, it sums it up. I mean, it really sums it up. I can't give you descriptors or adjectives that really will sum up what I saw in their faces as they're performing, you know, for our audience. It's wonderful.
And you do recitals, you do a whole bunch of things where the community, not only their family and friends, but the community can get a sense of what it is. And I think the more the community understands the greatness of the ballet company, the greatness of the Philharmonic, the greatness of the opera company, the greatness of what is culture in Las Vegas. I'm so thrilled there are more and more and more and more art studios that are opening up because, as I said last week, I believe it is the barometer of a community. Not only the great sports that we now have, Go Knights Go, but it is the barometer of a community, of how the community becomes itself.
You know, it takes the sharp edges of life, which we all know that they're there, and arts can sort of round that off and soften those hard edges, and it allows you to become a better person to yourself, a better person to your family, a better person to your community, because it's something that you instinctively have the capability and the ability, and you want to share.
Okay, I know that you brought with you this week 4 young people who are going to hopefully play a couple of pieces for us to kind of show the greatness of what music can do. And I'm going to ask the audience, watch their faces.
Yes.
Watch how the pride that they have within themselves. I think that tells as much a story as anything else. So we're going to take a break for a couple of seconds. We'll change the stage a little bit, and we'll bring on these 4 amazing young people.
Great.
So stay with us. We'll be right back. You'll see 4 tremendous young people. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hey, it's Mark Chinook from Monday's Dark, and you are watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Schorr.
There's a certain something when you sense music inside. It gives you a certain amount of power, of soul, of warmth. And I think of pride. Once again, welcome back, and this time, very special guests on our program. There is this thing, when I look at young people who are now playing amazingly, that there's a certain amount of pride within them and a certain amount of honor that I see in their faces. You sense that?
I think they enjoy playing at this time in their lives. They're past the hurdles of not wanting to play.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a young lady who's as young as 7, a gentleman who's as old as 11 years old, another one 11 and 10 years old. There is a certain, look at their faces, there's a certain pride that happens.
Yes, it's true. It's true. And we may see them here on stage, but I assure you, when I see them in the studios, you see that same emotion, you see that same enjoyment, and you see that same feeling.
I want the audience to sense this. I want the audience to feel what it is. So we're going to let them play, and I'm going to actually lead them into it. If that's
Please
okay
do.
with you.
Would you mind?
All right. So watch. These are wonderful young people. Again, Suzuki violin is where it all starts. It's wonderful, and it'll happen for you in 4, 3, 2. Did you love it? Look at me, sure smile.
Congratulations, beautiful,
Wonderful,
beautiful.
You're just by head shaking. Do you love doing this? Do you? Yeah, I could tell. There is a certain look that they get when they're playing. You try to hide your smile, I know, but we can catch the little smile that you have. There is pride that comes out of them.
Yeah, it is. It's inherent. It's natural. They're comfortable in showing it. They're comfortable. They're at ease with themselves.
And they all started Suzuki violin.
Yes, they did.
They all started Suzuki.
Yeah.
So
age 3, 4, 5, somewhere there.
They had no formal training to begin with. They were given violin to begin with, and they listened to music and then played it. And
well, it's a process. It's a process.
And it's by pieces, right?
It's like Lego blocks. You know, you start with one and you just keep building.
Those are strange-looking Lego blocks. I have to tell you.
Musical Lego blocks.
I know they are. Do they all start in the same place? All children who begin in Suzuki, do they all start in the same place?
Steve, I'd like you. Yes, Miss Mary.
Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Can you play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star?
Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Yes. Steve, Mary Straub.
I know Mary Straub is probably one of the more amazing instructors in this town.
We're very fortunate.
Absolutely,
we're very fortunate.
So you all began with Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and now you play classical music. Pretty cool, huh? There is a sense that I get of pride not only in these young people, but in the two of you, in watching them and seeing what they can do. And I'm sure what you've been able to do, Shakeh, with the School of the Arts, and Patrick, has to bring you a certain amount of your own pride.
Absolutely. These are the flowers of the garden that we've been nurturing for a long time, and if not for these kids, why else do we do what we do? I'm a performing violinist myself, but my greatest joy is really teaching and watching students go from age 3, 4, grow and develop and become young adults and then young people. So this is the joy of the process. We're so proud of them. They do really well.
And for you, Patrick?
Well, you know, I was listening to them and I thought to myself, Sevierville, Tennessee.
What?
Sevierville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Dollywood.
Dollywood.
To the halls of Lincoln Center. And what you're able to do, you know, crosses all demographics and all socioeconomic boundaries, no matter what. And it's really kind of wonderful and unique that you're able to take us on that journey, or at least take me on that journey, okay? But it's fabulous. That's what music does, and that's what the Suzuki method does, you know, especially with Mary behind it.
But I think it's even more. You know, I take great pride in being able to do my TV show here from the Liberace Mansion. And I always get a sense that Lee's spirit is still within this building. And I have to tell you, I would think that he would be very proud of these 4 young people who are here today that have taken a legacy of music and gone forward with it. And I think I'm personally proud of you, as I know that he would be. So thank you for very much for being with us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To the two of you, this community is better because of Nevada School of the Arts. And I think that any time that we all do things to bring about young people like this, that means the future for our community is better. So thank you very much for being with us these past 2 weeks. And thank you for bringing these amazing young people.
Thank you.
They are amazing. And I think this is the pride of Las Vegas. This is what Las Vegas is indeed all about. We'll have some closing words in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Frankie Shinta, downtown's king of entertainment. You're watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Schorr.
It really is amazing what can happen when young people, when even those of us who get older, really get into the wonderful sounds of music. Very special thank you for the past 2 weeks for Patrick and Shakeh for helping us get through this wonderful idea of we need to get back to the arts today. I've long believed that the arts are indeed a secret for the success of our young people. And schools, education needs to once again get back to where it used to be, and that is making sure that young people are indeed part of the arts. Until the next time, I'm Steve Schorr. Be safe and enjoy life under the Vegas sun.